stepping up to become the CEO and trying to now juggle being the CEO of Turning Point.
Yes, she did, Lisa. Yes, she did. She had the choice. She didn't have to become CEO.
She had a choice for her husband to be assassinated in front of the world.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said she had the choice to become the CEO of Turning Point USA. And I actually do have a video of Charlie and Erika that I want to bring up that I think at least can provide some perspective on what many people are unhappy about when it comes to Erika Kirk. Let me pull this up.
Study shows that married women with kids are the happiest. Why do you think that is? I mean, it's just nature. I mean, just becoming a CEO of a shoe company is not going to give you happiness.
Women have it so mixed up. You can have a career after children, but if you try to have a career while you have your kids, there is no such thing as balance. That is such a myth. I can't spend half of the day doing one thing. I missed out half of that time with being with the kids. So like you have to choose where your heart has to be fully with the home. You have to make that decision on your own, but you can always, after your kids are in school or after they're in high school, you can always go back to work. You can always find a way to get back into the workforce. But if you miss those precious first few years, that is so hard to make up because memories are so much more important than an added paycheck. And he had made mention at the end, like, you know, Erika will do a great job running it.
Like, okay. I think that sums up the frustration which a lot of people have with Erika Kirk right now, and the behavior that she's currently putting out there.
Okay, have you listened to Erika's testimony by any chance?
Which testimony?
Of her life.
I've listened to a number of different Erika Kirk pieces of content since she took over as the CEO of Turning Point USA.
Well, a huge part of her testimony is that she was the career-driven boss babe. Like that was absolutely what she was all about because she was raised by a single mom. She was raised that you should not rely on a man.
Okay, so you're admitting what I just said about her continual striving to be this star.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So it wasn't until, and she says, it wasn't until I met Charlie Kirk that perspective completely changed. And I realized that getting married, having children, building a family, building a legacy, that was absolutely far and above more important. And my calling to motherhood was far more important than a career and being a boss babe. Right. And so she acknowledges this, that I was living one life. And meeting Charlie completely changed those values and those perspectives. Now, her husband was taken from her. He was killed, right? She did not have a choice in anything that's going on with Turning Point and stepping up to become the CEO and trying to now juggle being the CEO of Turning Point.
Yes, she did, Lisa. Yes, she did. She had the choice. She didn't have to become CEO.
She had a choice for her husband to be assassinated in front of the world.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said she had the choice to become the CEO of Turning Point USA.
She no longer has the privilege to just sit at home and take care of her children. She does not have a husband.
Charlie was a very wealthy man. I don't know what the life insurance. Charlie was a very wealthy man. I don't know what the life insurance policy was, but he was also getting paid. He was also getting paid pretty well. He was also getting paid.
It's not about money. It's not about a 9-to-5. It's not about a career. She said,
"What is it?
So much more than that. It's about his legacy and what he built and making sure that it continues." She can't just sit at home and cry, Zach. She could take off, 5? How many months will be good enough for you? 6? A year? 2? How long should she sit at home and cry every day, Zach, before that's good enough for you? Because when she comes back, it may not be there. It would be burnt to the ground by then. Is that what you want her to do?
I think
she doesn't have the privilege of having a husband. That privilege has been taken.
I don't think that Erika Kirk is continuing Charlie's legacy on. I think Erika Kirk cares about Erika Kirk.
I think
that's what I think. I think that she is
completely subjective, and there's no facts in that at all.
I think she loves the spotlight, and that's based on the observation of what I see in her behavior since Charlie has died.
And Charlie didn't like the spotlight.
There is not one moment where Erika Kirk will not pass up something good for social media.
That's not true.
It's very true.
They literally just did another tour stop on the Make Heaven Crowded, and she was not there. because her mom is also dying. Didn't know if you were aware, but her mom is literally dying right now. And so she is her power of attorney. So she is responsible for her mother's medical care, which shows that her mother has deteriorated so much that she's not able to make medical decisions for herself, because Erika Kirk is now her power of attorney medically. So not only is she trying to juggle Turning Point, her children, the death of her husband, but now she's actively watching her mother basically die in front of her and trying to spend every minute that she can with her and make every memory that she can with her and her children. And so at the end of the day, no, she has not. Candace Owens is in front of a camera more times a week than Erika Kirk is. You've got to be freaking kidding me.
I am very sorry to hear about Erika's mother. And the only reason that I know about that is because Erika Kirk put it on social media of her mother dying.
Because she has said in interviews that she is juggling being her power of attorney, and because she was asked about keeping a Sabbath, and she said, I'm trying to, as best as I can, I have to kind of piece parts of it together because I have to be available for my mom as her power of attorney, to be available for her appointments. And if something comes up, if there's an emergency, I'm the person. So she literally talked about like juggling all of that. And so, yeah, I think she's trying to give more context into her life because she's talked about these things in interviews, and people are just going to say that she's lying. And so
she said in public interviews, can I just have my one thing? Can I just have my private life? When she's out there
no, that's not
filming herself crying over Charlie's
that's
corpse.
Absolutely false. What she said is, can I have one thing on where Charlie is buried, because the public would vandalize it.
She said, can I just have one thing? Can I just have one thing? Can I just have one thing? Like, it's pretending that she wants everything to be, she just needs this private. She just needs this private stuff. Nothing is private with her.
Completely out of context. She said, can I have one thing mentioning where Charlie is buried and having a private place to go and visit his body and take her children there privately? That is where she mentioned, can we just have one thing that is private for just our family?
How do you go from, you said that what Erika Kirk was prior to Charlie was this aspiring boss babe, want to be a star, want to make it. You know, you go and look at her Wikipedia, you go and look at her profile, impressive resume, America's boss babe. That again, that's who Erika Kirk wanted to be. She says that when she met Charlie, those things changed, and you just saw that video right there. Now Charlie is gone, and now she's back to America's boss babe. So did those values just get thrown out the window? Because she still has 2 kids at home.
No, Zach, her husband was assassinated.
Okay, fine. She doesn't need the money. If she wants Charlie's legacy to continue on, my opinion on what Erika Kirk should have done is hire an interim CEO. It sounds like she's got a lot going on right now.
She
doesn't really have time to be the front man for Turning Point USA and Turning Point USA Faith and all of these things, and endorsing JD Vance and all of these things that she's doing, running AmFest. Like, she is literally not who she says that she was in that video that we just saw. And she's not, she obviously,
it's almost like people grow up and
she obviously doesn't care.
Concept, I know.
She obviously cares more about being the front man of Turning Point USA, being the CEO of Turning Point USA, being that person that's out there, than she does to be home and taking care of her kids.
And where are you getting that from?
From reality, from literally observing reality.
That she's putting that in front of that. No, I think that these things can, again, 2 things can be true at the same time. Turning Point can be very important and valuable to her because it's literally what her husband built from the time he was 18 until the literal moment that he took his last breath. He died literally doing Turning Point, right? And so, yeah, this is his legacy on the public stage and everything that he has built with this organization, right? And at the same time, they also built their home and their family, and that's also important. Like, both of these things can be equally important at the same time, and she can do both. You do realize that there are mothers who get up and go to work and have children every single day, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. Do they share the same values as Erika Kirk that she's marketed to us over these past however many years? I share the same values as
Erika Kirk, and I work, Zach.
Lisa, this has nothing to do with Erika deciding to work. It has everything to do with who she's pretended to say that she was and who she actually is in reality. It's the disconnect from who she says she is versus who she actually is. Do you not understand that?
No, I don't think that you understand that she did not have any choice over this. Her husband was killed. She has lost the privilege to be a stay-at-home mom.
I don't think
It's
that she
either
I don't
stay
think
at
she
home.
has. No, she is
It's
not. She is not.
yeah, it's
No,
stay
she
at
hasn't.
home or Turning Point completely just falls apart.
That's not true. That's not true.
I do think that that's
Why
true.
wouldn't she be able to hire a CEO at Turning Point USA and still make money off of the ownership that she has
Because the
in it?
CEO was not in the weeds with it the way that she was with Charlie. She's said multiple times, I was Charlie's vault. He poured everything into me. And you should know, as a spouse, your spouse should be your vault. My husband pours everything into me, and I share everything with him. There's no secrets between us. Everything is exchanged. She literally says, I have journals going 10 years into the future where Charlie put down every instruction, every detailed everything for this company and this organization and how he wanted it to go. She knows intimate things that we will never know about Charlie Kirk. She is the person.
Look, if I die, you're not going to see my wife come in here and start taking the lead front man on my business or
and
my
your
stuff.
life is also
Like,
not like that of Charlie Kirk, and we cannot understand the life or the lifestyle that they live. They
okay,
live
are you going to take over? Are you going to go take
level.
over your husband's job if he dies?
Again, it's a you can't even compare. That's like apples to oranges. That's not even a fair comparison, and you know it. They are living a life that none of us will be able to understand. You are trying to hold Erika Kirk to a standard way outside of her reality. I can't even imagine how frustrating that would be.
Erika Kirk looks like she is she was very happy just to toss out all of those values that you just heard her talk about when Charlie was alive,
toss those values
to snap right into America's Boss Babe CEO, collecting the merch sales for Turning Point USA, being the front man at the Make Heaven Crowded tour.
The fact that you
Like,
think
this
she killed her
this
husband. And so,
what?
yeah, this
comes down to what?
That you hold to the fact that you think she killed her husband. And so ultimately you
Wow, that's a leap. That's a leap.
She's responsible for this. So of course you think that she's primed herself to be in this position. I believe that this is something that happened to her. You believe that this is something that she made happen, possibly. And so that's where we're going to disagree.
Yeah, I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that that's fair. My criticism of Erika Kirk has developed over the last few months. And
I understand. Believe that she's responsible for killing her husband?
I think that as a part of this investigation, all of the leads should be looked into. I don't believe the lone wolf narrative. I'll come out and say that right now. I want to know of any outside influence or covert influence that was taking place, how Tyler Robinson was involved in this whole thing. I think there were others involved in it. I think that it's bigger than just Tyler Robinson. And I think that these leads need to be investigated. That's what I think.